Hello, this is a walkthrough on how to Hunt the Wumpus, which is the cartridge that I've just wrapped up for the color computer. This is not the text-based version that is kind of the famous one, which was written by Gregory Yaub back in the early 1970s. This is a clone of the graphic version for the TI-99 color computer, written by Kevin Kenny in 1980. That was a great cartridge, and I always thought, why has nobody ported this or made a clone of it or brought it over to the color computer? So I wrote a version for the color computer, and here it is. So the way that you play the game is that there's a maze of passages, and there's a monster in this network of passages called the Wumpus, and you have to find the Wumpus and fire an arrow into its cave to kill the Wumpus. If you walk into the cave where the Wumpus is, the Wumpus will kill you and eat you. So what else do you have to do? Well, there are two pits located in the network of caves, and if you happen to walk into a room with a pit, you will fall to your death. So the game provides you clues as to how close you are to the Wumpus and how close you are to a pit. So if you're within one cave of a pit, you will see blue around the cave that you're in. If you are within two caves of the Wumpus, you'll see an orange circle, which is kind of supposed to be blood or Wumpus slime. You can imagine it as being whatever you want. So let me start a game here, and we will see what a game is like. So there we go. There's some little intro graphics that just show you all the ways you can die. All right, and then we get to pick what kind of maze we want. I'm going to pick a very twisty maze. Those are the most fun ones. All right. So let's take a look here. When we start up, we get dropped randomly into a cave, and notice that we've got some problems here because we've got a blue ring around the room that we're in, and that means that we are within one square of a pit. So if I go up, down, left, or right, there's a chance that I could fall into a pit. Actually, there could be two chances that I fall into a pit because there's two pits in the game. But let me just go right and see what happens. Hopefully, I won't die. Okay, now I'm in a safe place. So this room is safe. I can go in any direction because I don't see blood in this room, and I don't see the blue ring in this room. So what I'm trying to do is, it's a lot like Minesweeper. You want to use process of elimination to try to figure out where the Wumpus is. And you notice here that now I have three rooms that all have a blue border, and that means that there's probably a pit at the center of those rooms, right? So there you go. We figured out where one of the pits is. There's a bat. The bats will randomly fly you to another room. The first time you see them, they just kind of wake up. The next time you go into that room, the bat will fly you to a random room. So if I walk into that room with the bat, you'll see the bat flies me to a random room. He didn't move me very far, though. So what we're trying to do is now kind of find the blood or the Wumpus slime. And oh nuts, I fell into a pit and died. Okay, so let's take a look at the map. So there's our Wumpus. He's the monster at the top right, and you can see that every cave within 2 squares of the Wumpus is marked with the blood or the Wumpus slime. So that's how you kind of narrow down where the Wumpus is, and you can see that there are 2 pits. Those are the black circles. Every cave adjacent to a pit has a blue ring around it, and there's also 2 bats. So there you go. You have to use process of elimination to figure out where the Wumpus is. And it's important to note that if you fire into a tunnel, the arrow will fly down the tunnel until it reaches the room at the end. So you don't have to be immediately adjacent to the Wumpus to kill the Wumpus. You could fire from several rooms away, and as long as you're firing into a passage, the arrow will follow the passage to the cave at the end. And the game tracks how many times you've won and been eaten and fallen into a pit. Also, if you fire and you miss, then the Wumpus kills you. So let me just show you that. So to fire, you just hit F, and then you pick the direction you want to fire. So I'm using A, S, W, and D to move, or the arrow keys, they work too. You can see F toggles firing on and off. If I fire into the wrong room, then the Wumpus wakes up and kills me. Right, and then the board is revealed to us, and if you go back now, you can see on the tally screen the Wumpus has got a point. So let's play again here. And I'll see if I can beat the Wumpus so I can figure out where he is. All right, okay, so there's a pit, there's a bat, and what I'm just doing is kind of trying to map out as much of the maze as I can without killing myself. And sometimes if you run into a hazard like a pit, you have to backtrack. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, so now we're kind of getting close to where the Wumpus might be. So let's go the other way and see where the Wump. Well, it looks like the Wumpus is probably up here, I'm guessing. Well, let's try some other stuff. See, I'm stuck, so let's backtrack and try to figure out some other options. There we go. So I think we've kind of narrowed down where the Wumpus is. So I'm going to fire to the left now. So I hit F and I go in. You can see the guy draws his bow back, and I'm going to hit A to fire to the left. And you can see that. There, we got him. So the animation always shows the arrow flying from left to right. So if you happen to fire up, down, or to the left, don't worry that the arrow is drawn flying in the wrong direction. So that's just how the animation is. So you can see we figured out where the Wumpus was. And now we've got a point. So there you go. There's the game. There's a network of passages. There's a Wumpus somewhere in there. If you're within 2 caves of the Wumpus, you see slime. There are 2 pits. If you're within 1 square of a pit, you'll see a blue ring around the room that you're in. If you happen to walk into a room with a pit, you fall to your death. If you walk into a room with the Wumpus, you are immediately eaten. So there you go. That's how you play it. It's a lot like Minesweeper. You use arrow keys to move, F to toggle firing on and off, and there you go. It's a lot of fun. My son helped me. I think we played 70-something games, beta testing it. We couldn't find any bugs, and he liked it a lot. I've tested it out on my students, and they like it a lot. So hopefully you'll like it too. And big thanks to Neil for manufacturing these cartridges and getting them out there. I'm really excited about this one. So I don't know. There you go. Hope you enjoy it, and happy 2019.